this, bro. Yup. I'm about to do this.
I was munching fries sitting in the school cafeteria when Zeke and Milo joined me. "Did you hear about the weeping woman?" Zeke asked. I took a big bite of my chocolate cookie and scoffed. "Shut up, Zeke. We all know tomorrow's 1st April, so whatever prank you and Milo are trying to pull, it won't work." Zeke got defensive, saying his neighbor's son saw this middle-aged anemic woman in the abandoned tunnel near the broken railroad. When he saw her, he just ran for his life. He said the woman had no eyelids or lips. I still refused to believe him because I was certain this was...
I can't see the screen. Hold on.
me, saying I was not brave enough to go there, and blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, we're on our way home after school when Zeke again started talking about this scary woman. Our argument went on, and suddenly Zeke declared whoever would go to that tunnel right now and record a video will get a free bucket of KFC chicken nuggets tomorrow. I thought Milo would say yes right away. Do this some other time, okay? I watched him get up, grab his bag, and leave, giving me a goodbye smile. I exhaled and leaned back, thinking that I shouldn't have left my job to be a full-time wife. At least it would have kept me busy. Just then, my phone rang. It was my sister, Camilla.
Hello? Hello? Reggie just asked me out for dinner. What? April Fool's, Diana. Got you. Seriously, Camilla? Grow up. Come on, it's April 1st. Anyway, I'm going out on a date. Have fun. Ciao.
Camilla hung up and I succumbed to my daily old routine. At around 5 p.m., I was in the bathroom taking a hot shower when an idea came to my mind. Maybe I should do something to shake Reggie up a bit. Something that'll make him just enough freaked out to show that he still loves me and worries for me. Right. I'm gonna leave him. Not literally, but I'm gonna fake it that I'm leaving him and I want a divorce. So I wrote a letter filled with lies about how unhappy I was and I'm leaving for a week to stay with my grandma. He will get the divorce papers soon. I packed my suitcase and hid it in the attic to make it more believable. And then I waited for Reggie to come back. The plan was simple. As soon as I hear a car pulling into the driveway, I'll run and hide in the bedroom closet. From there, I'll enjoy watching a tormented Reggie reading my letter, and when it feels I've punished him enough, I'll jump out screaming, "April Fools!" And then he might yell at me for pulling such a stupid prank, but we'll end up by making wild love. I ate takeouts for lunch and smartly threw away the packaging in the neighbor's trash can so Reggie believes I left in the morning only. At around 11 p.m., I heard a car horn. I hushed to myself.
Get ready, Diana.
Car
Time for
horn.
action.
Reggie got in, locked the door, and called out for me. I could hear him yelling, "Diana? Why is the house in darkness?" I somehow controlled my laughter sitting in the closet. Reggie walked into our bedroom, his eyes searching for me. "Diana? Where are you?" He looked around for a bit. Then, just when I thought he might come and check the closet, he noticed the letter on the bed. Thank God. Otherwise, my entire plan would have flopped. He picked it up, gave it a read, and I watched the color drain from his face. "Sorry, Reg, but this is what you get for taking a wife like me for granted." I silently chuckled. Reggie sat down on the bed. He did look worried, though. At this point, I started feeling a little bad for him, but the fun had just begun, I thought. A few minutes later, he called someone up. "Hi, it's me. Diana left me. Yeah, we need to talk." Sitting inside the closet, I couldn't help but wonder why on earth did he call someone else instead of calling me? Who is this mystery caller? 15 minutes later, I heard another car pull into our driveway. Reggie rushed to the door and a muffled female voice came from our living room. Suddenly, Camilla walked into our bedroom, wrapping Reggie in his arms like a parasite. They were kissing like teenagers and fell over our bed, the bed which used to be only mine and Reggie's. The next couple of hours went like a nightmare. I watched them beaming with lust and heard them discussing how relieved they both were since I moved out of their way without any trouble. I was too stunned to move. My mind burnt in anger. My heart wept in betrayal. I knew I had to get my revenge. None of them deserved to be forgiven. So around 3 a.m. in the morning, when Camilla got up to pee, I secretly crawled out from the closet. She was washing her hands. I slowly got in and started choking her with one of Reggie's ties. I made sure to keep the tap running so her gagging screams could die down. It took some time, but it gave me a hell lot of relief. Can you believe this? This witch just mocked me in the morning, saying she was having an affair with my husband, and she actually was. How evil people can be. I left her lifeless body in the bathtub and got my suitcase from the attic. I'm on a bus to my grandma's house. She has dementia, so it'll be easy to build up my alibi. But I can't stop laughing, thinking how will Reggie react once he enters the bathroom. I wish I could be there to see it, only to scream from behind.
April Fools!
Weirdo. Weird.
I wonder how HoneyBook can help grow my business.
What really made me fall in love with April Fool's Day was the thrill that came with pranking people and the rush of pulling off the perfect fooling. And honestly, once you get into that, you can't get away from it. But last year, I went too far. It was all innocent enough, though. My target was Palmer, the new neighbor across the hall. He hardly spoke to anyone, always kept his blinds down, and had this weird paranoid vibe to him. Naturally, I thought him the perfect victim. I spent 2 days planning it, and the fake bloody footprints were my best idea yet. All I did was dip an old shoe into red paint and carefully stamp it from Palmer's door to mine. For small kids, I left creepy notes under his door. I see you, and you're next. Really made sure to get under his skin. The night before April Fools, I stood by my peephole, giggling softly as I watched Palmer step out and find the first note. He stared at it for a long time, then glanced around the dimly lit hallway, almost as if he thought someone was watching him. He looked rattled. Perfect. By the time I planted the final note the next afternoon, I was absolutely buzzing with excitement. My phone was set to record his reaction. I imagined him terrified and panicked and shrieking, maybe. Instead, when the knock came, I opened the door to find Palmer trembling and biting his nails. His face was covered in sweat, eyes wide. He clenched one of my fake notes like it was a death threat. Help me, he stammered. I don't feel safe in my apartment. For a second, I nearly laughed. The prank had worked better than I planned, but the sheer panic in his eyes gave me pause. His face was drained of color, and his chest moved up and down like he was having difficulty breathing. He wasn't acting. Fine, I said, still half convinced this was part of the joke. I'll check. Let's go. I followed him across the hall. The moment I stepped inside, something felt off. The air was cold and damp. As I twisted the doorknob, Palmer's messy apartment unfolded in front of my eyes. There was a reeking odor all over the place. God, Palmer, do you ever clean here? I gasped. We stepped into the living room where everything was out of their place. Drawers were flung open and papers scattered across the floor. No, it wasn't like this before, Palmer whispered. Whoever broke in did all this. My eyes drifted to the floor. The bloody footprints I had created were there, but they weren't quite right. The shoe prints I made had neat, clean edges. These prints were smeared, streaked, and panicked, chaotic patterns. Like someone had been dragged. I didn't make these. I muttered under my breath. What do you mean? Palmer asked. I was about to speak when I heard it, a faint creak from the bedroom door. Did you hear that? Palmer whispered. His face was frozen in dread. I swallowed hard. Yeah. We crept toward the bedroom with my heart hammering in my chest. The door was ajar, swinging slightly as if someone had just passed through it. I tapped it with my fingers. Hello? I called out, barely louder than a whisper. No answer. I reached out and pushed the door open. The room was dark, except for a sliver of moonlight leaking through the blinds. I strained my eyes, scanning the room. The bed was unmade, and the clothes were scattered on the floor. Then I saw him. A man crouched in the corner, his body twisted like a broken puppet. His clothes were filthy, his face smeared with grime. He clutched something in his hand, a knife. He didn't move. He just looked at me, wide-eyed and grinning. Run! I screamed, grabbing Palmer by the arm. We bolted down the hallway as fast as we could. Behind us, I heard a thud, the sound of footsteps pounding against the floor. He was following us. We made it to my apartment, and I slammed the door shut just in time. The lock clicked. For a few agonizing seconds, we stood frozen, listening to the sound of heavy breathing just outside the door. Do you think he's still there? Palmer gasped. Maybe not. I spoke nervously, but I didn't believe it. My stomach was in knots. I had to dial 911. By the time officers arrived, they had swept the building from top to bottom. No one's here, one cop said, but we found this near the bedroom window. He held up one of my fake bloody notes, the same one I'd left earlier that day, only this one had been altered. Below my scribbled, "You're next," were new words scrawled in shaky handwriting. I liked your little game. Let's play again next year. I didn't do this, I swear. I fumbled. They never caught the man. The cops all believed he was a squatter who lived in the building unnoticed. But in my gut, I knew better. My prank had brought him to me. My fake threats had invited a real one. I just stopped pulling pranks after that. But this year,